You know, I was just listening to KPCC when I was driving over here, and they were talking about this phenomenon. It's a neurological thing, how people get a song stuck in their head.
Yes.
And that you can hear 2-3 notes, and then the song starts playing in full production in your head, and you can't get it out. I mean, has that ever happened to any of you guys? I mean, it happens to me.
Too. You know, all of a sudden you start. Is it related to this person? You know, you start singing a song of, you know, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. You remember a girl you used to sing it to, or you have a different song maybe about Maven, or you about Judy. But it does evoke a lot of emotion too.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes it's aggravating. I mean, you get some stupid production. You get a Lester Lannon song stuck in your head, and you can't get it out. You know.
You know, we were talking the other day about obits, and Don Cornelius died of Soul Train, and you know, to me, that Soul Train line, that 3 minutes, that Soul Train line around 9:53 in the morning when that show would come on, that was one of the greatest pieces of poetry there is. And there are people all over America and the world, you know, decrying his death. Now that was
came on in the morning.
Saturday morning. I used to watch it in the morning.
Oh, we used to get it like at 1 o'clock in the morning or something.
I used to watch it in the morning, you know, like 9:30 or 9 to 10 in the morning. But Don Cornelius, you know, that's the longest running show ever, you know. And so
did it run longer than American Bandstand, do you think?
I think it did. I think
because it was like originally kind of the black version of American Bandstand, but it kind of created its own thing.
I love that Soul Train line. 3 minutes of poetry. What a beautiful. There's something where, you know, I loved. What about you, Don? Did you ever watch Soul Train?
Yes.
Did you ever know Don Cornelius? Did you ever meet him? Big, you know, independent television. That's what he was on.
They weren't on network?
No, it was independent. Like absolutely. He owned the show.
Shooting now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was shooting now.
It's independent. And he made himself a nice little business there.
Remember the commercials? He would always do that commercial for McDonald's, something about whatever it is, that commercial ditty, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He always was very kind to the entertainers and flattering to them. He never belittled them.
Boy, he brought on some big ones.
He had great respect and he treated them great.
Gee, artists like Gladys Knight and
Smokey Robinson.
And his wardrobe was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had those big fros.
That was the beginning of all that dancing, man. Those dancers were...
Yeah, and they were amateurs. I mean, those were just kids.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
That's where the dance choreographers would get their ideas from, Harlem, and place Spanish Harlem, right? The kids on the street dancing.
The funny thing is they had a appeal to the people who were appealing to the Dick Clark show.
Yeah.
And they looked so silly, Dick Clark dancing show and
the Soul Train kids were unbelievable. Yeah, and they were just kids off the street.
And the way they did that Soul Train line too,
yeah.
The legs.
The challenge line when they all came down the center.
Were you a good dancer, Mr. Sherman?
No, I always went for coffee. That's the first thing I said to that girl I met. Let's get out of here. And they usually went along.
Well, learning how to jive was always good to get the girls, you know, when you're in high school, junior high.
Do you dance a lot with Judy?
No, God,
dancers don't like to dance.
No, I'm just such a lousy amateur compared to her.
Yeah, no, but they don't even enjoy that.
No, they don't. No, I'm terrible. You know, we used to go to that place at the Beverly Hilton when they had the big band and the swing dancers,
yes.
And they had professionals there. And we'd go there, and I'd just say, go to it. You go dance with these guys, because they were pros. And she could get up there and do all the moves, you know, the big ballroom stuff.
It's interesting how dancing got started.
Yeah.
How did it all start? It was never a man thing, you know. Women love to dance with their husbands. I don't know how many husbands enjoy dancing with their wives.
Maybe some. Yeah. Some go to the
dancing. Enjoy dancing.
Yeah. You know, if you're equally talented, I think it works. It's when you have, like, in your case with Mabon, who's an outstanding dancer, and Judy, who's also an outstanding dancer. I mean, we have 2 left feet and a club hand, you know, when it comes to dancing with them. We're hopeless.
Charlie Rapp, the fellow who created the Catskill Mountains, never married, but he was a dancing fool. And he had shirts all over town, Roseland and all the dancing spots. He had spare shirts because he gets sweat.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And he changed his shirts. He lived for dancing. of all things, for one of the top bookers in the country to marry a knife thrower, female knife thrower.
When I was a kid, we'd go out. The guys say, "You want to go drink?" You'd say, "Might as well. Can't dance."
Can't dance. Well, you know Judy's dad, Ned Rose. He dances very well. He dances with Judy.
Like a guy that can dance.
Yeah, he could cut the rug, and you know, at his 100th birthday party, we had.
Still dancing at 100?
Yeah, and you know, we had a professional DJ come in to set up the sound system, and when it came up for his birthday dance with Judy, they played Frank Sinatra's "New York, New York." And partway through the song, Ned turns to the DJ and says, "Could you put something a little livelier on?" You know, and I thought, livelier? You know.
Remember in the movie The Leopards, who was it? Lancaster's the old lion, and then the young Claudia Cardinale, and they do a dance while everybody watches them, the old and the new. That was beautiful.
Claudia Cardinale, my goodness.
Yeah, Elaine Delon.
That was a beauty.
Oh, beautiful.
Elaine Delon, yeah, wow.
And, well, the guy who was like the Don Juan of my class, what he would do, invite women over when his parents were out of town. He had this whole setup where it's certain records building up to, like, you know, right before you take them into the bedroom.
I see.
Here, and then Barry Gray or whoever.
Barry White.
Barry White.
Barry Gray.
Who is Barry Gray?
Barry White.
I don't know.
Was he a...
Barry White was
Barry White, yeah.
love you,
What a
baby,
great guy.
beautiful, beautiful.
Is he still alive, Barry White?
No, he passed away.
Big heavy guy.
Yeah, he was.
Don Cornelius, they said suicide, huh? And same thing with the artist, Mike Kelly, said suicide.
Yeah, I guess the word is that Don Cornelius had some health problems or something, health issues. Who knows? You never know. Very unfortunate.
My wife never watches TV, and I used to watch Soul Train with my kid, and the Soul Train line would come in. I'd say, "It's going to commercials, 2 minutes." Same way these days, I say, "The weather report's coming on." And they come in.
That's a switch from the Soul Train to the weather report.
Well, because my wife never watched TV, and I'll be watching the
Those
local
kids
news.
were so good. Those kids were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They were amazing what they did. They were.
They're creative. Well,
Yeah.
when I worked at the downtown discotheque in 1966, you know, those kids from Harlem would come down there dancing. Choreographers from shows would see them, right? And they
Yeah,
would pick up their new
ideas,
moves.
yeah.
You know? Probably the same thing you would do with comedy. You would hear people talking, and would you just create all that out of your own head?
Yeah. That dancing is so instinctive, man. Mabin's like just.
Oh yeah, some people
It takes
got
a lot
it.
of work. Though,
Every time she wants to go to a perform, she makes a whole thing about an act. And I just put on a record and she dances, and I said, "That's what you should do.
That's the act, yeah.
You just come out popping. That's what you do best." But
I was just reading Peter Ford's book last night, and Peter Ford's mother was Eleanor Powell.
oh yeah, it was.
And you know,
Eleanor Powell. I was standing backstage with Eleanor Powell at the Dunes when Mabin was working with George Burns, and Mabin opened up the show, and Eleanor Powell says to me, not knowing who I was, she said, "That girl can dance."
hey, that's great. Coming from Eleanor Powell,
Yeah,
my
oh, well,
God, she was
They became very good friends.
outstanding. And you know, to hear Peter's take on his mother's career, you know, it's quite interesting. It's a good book.
Peter's her son.
Her son, yeah, they had one son.
She seemed like a very nice lady.
He was Glenn Ford. Remember, they were Glenn Ford and Eleanor Powell used to be married.
Glenn Ford?
Yeah, Glenn Ford was.
actor?
Yeah,
You know
was
what Brando used to say about Glenn Ford?
no
Chicken wing acting.
chicken wing.
Why did he consider that chicken wing?
I don't know, the way he gestures.
Oh no, maybe the way he held his arms or something.
It's
Yeah.
like when you ride a horse, they tell you keep your arms in.
Oh, that's right. He did a lot of westerns, didn't he? Yeah, chicken wing. Well, you know, Marlon Brando was never one to mince words, was he?
I enjoy those westerns because some of those shots they get are so majestic.
Oh my gosh,
One of
yeah,
the
out
reasons
there
I
in
came to LA
Utah.
was to make westerns. I ended up doing Tom Horn, Bad Girls, Alias Smith and Jones, High Chaparral. Did you ever do any westerns?
Never did it. Yeah, I did the J.D. and the Salt Flat Kid.
Can you ride?
I wrote that script and I played a pawnbroker in downtown Nashville, right across the street from Linebaug's Cafeteria where all the stars hang out. And he used to take in this guy, his name was Goldstein. He used to take in big stars who were broke.
Yeah.
They weren't working. And he'd take in their guitar and he'd give them money. And they'd come in and they'd practice in his place with that guitar because it's hot, you know.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it was fun meeting those people, fun meeting the show business of Nashville. Everybody in Nashville is in show business.
Oh yeah, they're all a player, good
you
player.
ask the guy pumping gas, he'll give you who's got the best-selling record and why, and she shouldn't be up there. And they really are very serious about the Grand Ole Opry and everybody that goes there.
They are.
And they stick with you, even though you're more than 15 years old. They got a lot of old people who are working in
Yeah, the old cats.
country music.
Yeah, doing that.
What's your favorite Western?
Favorite Western? Jeez, I don't really know. I like the one that he just did, 310 to Yuma.
Oh, 310 to Yuma. Yeah, Glenn Ford was in the original, wasn't he? And then
No, some
and then it was redone.
Some Westerns were great. They were marvelous.
Remember that Red River when John Wayne pulls up
Yeah.
with his henchman and he tells the Mexican guy, he says, I'm taking the land from that mountain to the river. And the guy says, oh no, you can't take it. This is our land, senor. And he says, yeah, who'd you take it from? I'm taking it from you. That's what it is, right? Whoever has the gunpowder takes
Well,
it.
that's a John Ford movie for you.
John Ford made 136 movies in 51 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys
movies-
were great, huh?
So that's two movies a year?
Well, sometimes he, William Wellman, sometimes he'd do 6 a year.
Yeah, well, under the studio contract, they were just handing them
These
scripts.
days it takes like these big directors, what, one every 2 years? 3
2 years, yeah,
Yeah.
minimum, yeah.
Takes them a year to make a picture. A year, two.
Yeah, well, you got your pre-production planning and locations and costume. I mean, you don't have the studio system the same way where they just pull everything out of stock,
They're geniuses. Those people, behind the scenes people,
They're tough.
they can do anything.
I'm
Oh,
reading a book
yeah,
on
yeah.
Pauline
They can cope with
Kael.
any emergency,
Oh, yeah.
Tough too. They
Yeah.
beat you to death too, right? These guys, these competitive guys in the movie and TV business, these producers, right? They're very practical people, right?
Yeah.
They know how to do it and they make a buck out doing it.
Well, you have to.
That's the accounting system of the motion picture industry.
Yeah, they have one box for
That and-
there and one
Yeah,
box
that's
for
like
there.
early Vegas,
That and the record companies
Yeah.
I like to see.
when they have the counting rooms,
I was
in
talking with
Vegas.
Warnotes one time about, he did a picture called something about that White Dawn, and he had a piece of the action. I said, "You going to get a piece?" He said, "It depends if my lawyer is better than the studio's lawyer." Right? But my favorite line by Warnotes was, they asked him at a film festival, "What's the difference between the Old West and now?" And he says, "In the Old West, they didn't give out food stamps."
But he didn't have Obama, right?
There were no liberals in the Old West, right?
No, I guess not.
You need liberals.
Yeah, they had a rope.
Oh, yeah, they always had the guy, the pacifist, the guy that wouldn't shoot,
Liberty Balance.
and the local reverend, and the nice guy, Little House on the Prairie guy.
Who shot Liberty Balance? You remember who did?
Who shot Liberty
Yeah,
Valance?
the man who shot Liberty
I
Balance.
never knew Liberty Valance.
Yeah, I remember the song.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head now.
John Wayne, he was standing in the background. Remember, he
Who
got
shot
I
Liberty
like John
Balance?
John Wayne did one scene with a villain. He says, "I guess I won't hit you," and walks away. And he's like, "God damn, I did."
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah, the whole audience is waiting for that slug,
Big bad John.
Okay, I'll let you go this time. Nah, bam.
Yeah.
Now Walker fits that whole thing, and he bought a minesweeper.
Canadian minesweeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was his boat. He had refurnished.
It was the Wild Goose.
out there in Newport.
Yeah. He used to bring it up to the islands, up where I lived, and pull into the inner harbor, and we'd say, "Hey, that John Wayne's in town."
Well, he did a lot of that for John Ford, as you know, and John Ford was directing Mr. Roberts, and Henry Fonda had done the play on Broadway for a year or two, and he kept complaining for the first week, "Well, this isn't the way we did on Broadway, this isn't it."
Yeah.
So finally John Ford calls him down into his cabin. "Come on in." Bam!
Yeah.
That moment on, Henry Fonda never complained anymore.
Henry agreed with everything,
He
every
was a
change.
tough guy, John Ford. Man.
Yeah.
He demanded respect.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy Cagney, he was great in that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the crazy captain with a palm tree.
yeah.
Oh, that was Kane Mutiny, Court Martial?
Mr. Roberts.
No, Mr. Roberts.
Roberts. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember Cagney's character, the captain, had that palm tree that was given to him by another ship captain, and they had to keep it watered and protected, finally one of the guys out of frustration threw it overboard.
Well, I worked with a guy who did 21 John Ford films, Chuck Hayward, and he said the stuntmen, he loved the stuntmen, they would all go to this restaurant, Monument Valley. They would wait till John Ford came along, and they would all go in there together. He loved the stuntmen.
Yeah. Well, they made his movie. Well, what's the word of the day, folks?
How about courtesy?
Courtesy is nice. I like courtesy.
Yeah, we need more of that, I think, in our world.
Courtesy.
Courtesy is a good word. So with that, we'll say goodbye, good luck. See you tomorrow.
Okay, that's courteous.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Mr. Don Sherman, for being, as he used to call you, and probably still will, ebullient. Is that the word?
Ebullient and erudite.
Ebullient and erudite. Which do you prefer?
Both in a...
I couldn't separate the two.
Can't.
Such beautiful.